Hi, my name is Kat Savard. I'm the founder of Good Ember, and I'm going to take you through some kink gear basics. So the first thing that a lot of people start with is a blindfold. These are obviously really helpful because when you do take one sense away, you tend to turn up all of the other senses. The thing that's most interesting about this that a lot of people don't sort of realize is that it allows you to, for the person that's not wearing the blindfold, sort of take your time and organize yourself without pulling your partner out of their vibe completely. So it actually really does serve a dual purpose. The next piece of bondage gear that's quite popular is cuffs. So I have here a wrist cuff and a leg cuff. These are also part of our collection. There's a reason kinksters tend to use a leather cuff like this, a vegan leather, or even a fabric cuff over those metal police style handcuffs. It's actually because they're much safer and they're much more comfortable to be worn for extended periods of time. Those metal cuffs do cut off your circulation after a little while, and they're terribly uncomfortable. These can be worn for a lot longer. The only safety information you need to know about these is that you just want to leave a little bit of, maybe a finger or two's worth of room when you tie them to make sure you're not cutting off any circulation. These can be tied in a number of ways, so they can be tied together with a little claw clip. We also have these sort of four-way clips. These actually allow you to tie all four limbs together. So if your partner really likes to be incapacitated, this is a really great way to do it. Next, I'm going to talk to you about an item that's actually highly symbolic within the BDSM community, and that is the collar. It's a really powerful symbol of connection. Often it represents sort of ownership, devotion, mutual commitment within a dominant and submissive dynamic. It's much like a wedding ring in a traditional relationship. A collar can really signify that a submissive has chosen to give themselves over to a dominant, and that the dominant has accepted the responsibility for the care, growth, and pleasure of that submissive. Obviously, as with anything else that goes around your throat, you don't want this to be too tight. You don't want to be pulling on it. You want to be really, really careful with a collar, essentially. Often, a lot of people will go, sort of put it on symbolically at the beginning of play, and it sort of stays there until the end of play when the dominant will remove it. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about hoods. I have one here that covers the eyes, and I have another one that doesn't cover the eyes. There's a reason for both of these. A lot of people tend to think that the hood is for the wearer, which yes, it is, but the hood is actually just equally as helpful for the person that's not wearing them. Often when you're playing a sort of role play or a game like this with your partner, it's sort of helpful to not see your partner because it can take you out of your head if you're the person that's leading the play that day. So a lot of people quite like to wear them because yes, it does remove a lot of their senses while they're wearing them. But a lot of people also enjoy putting them on their partner so that they can, see that partner as a little bit more of an object as opposed to the person that they love. So they can be useful in both different ways. Now we're going to talk about the Wartenberg wheel. This is a sensation play item. A lot of people really like to start off with this. It's actually a medical device, but it's been perverted by a lot of kinksters. It's got these tiny little pinpricks, and so it's a really good way to kind of start sensation play. When you get your endorphins going, the line between pleasure and pain can actually be quite thin. And so this is a really good way to kind of get started, bring out a few sensations for your partner, and sort of test out what their threshold is by, pressing down more or less hard on this little wheel. The next item I'm going to show you is a soy massage candle. It falls into the wax play category. A lot of people do like this kind of sensation play. What's different about these than where you might get just a regular candle in your house is that those tend to be paraffin wax, whereas these tend to burn at a much lower temperature, so they don't actually burn the skin. You do feel a warm sensation, but they don't burn you. So imagine your eyes are covered, you don't know what's coming, and you feel this sort of hot thing on your back. A lot of people quite like that sensation, so wax play is really good for that. Sometimes you get them in these sort of little container candles, sometimes they're just the regular stick candles, but we do need to get candles that are specifically made for wax play and that are not just regular house candles. I'm going to talk about two different items that are our last items for today, and they're both impact play items. The first one is a paddle. This is just a small leather paddle. By the way, hands are great. Hands are fine. People quite like using their hands. There's something really deeply personal about that, which a lot of people really enjoy. But the hands do tend to hurt after a little while, so that's when people like to use paddles. In terms of safety, you want to stick to very fleshy parts of the body, so the butt, the thighs, sometimes the upper back is okay too. You want to stay away from the middle and the lower back at all costs. Obviously nothing in the face. The front, also be a little careful. You want to start small. Make sure that the skin is very warm before you start going a little harder. Always take your cues from your partner. If you're not hearing the safe word, if they appear to be enjoying themselves, then you can keep going. You can ask them too, is this okay? Do you want it harder? Do you want it softer? So keeping that line of communication open with your partner, especially when using impact play, is very, very important. And our last impact play item is the flogger. This is sort of a classic tool that a lot of people have. There's a bunch of different iterations of these. Ours is a fur flogger that's actually fur and leather, so it does allow you to go a little bit softer. It's used sometimes as a sensation toy, but it can be used as an impact toy as well as with all floggers. With any kind of flogger, you want to make sure that you maintain really good control of it. You don't want to be sort of whacking people sort of willy-nilly with this. You want to stick to the upper back, the buttocks, the legs are okay. Again, stay away from the kidney area. The lower back area is really dangerous. No face, no front. So you want to stick to those areas, and you want to, again, keep talking to your partner, make sure that this feels good. This is a really good way to kind of warm up a person too, and warm up the skin just to make sure that you're not doing any damage and you're just out there having fun.